Hello, welcome to the Konnekt-007 experience. Here, we come to the podcast where human connection is everything. If you're trying to connect better with those around you, you're in the right spot. So please, sit back, relax, open your mind, and enjoy the experience. Hello there, everybody. My name is Thaddeus Sims, and I am the host of this amazing podcast. And today's episode is our 84th episode titled Trust. Now, I know I've talked a little bit about this in the past, but we're going to go deeper into this trust thing only because as I was meditating and I was feeling the energy out there, it was just like, we need to get on this trust thing because this is lacking. But before we go any further, I have to share the announcement and a fun fact with you. So the announcement is it's already November 1st. So wow. And the Konnekt meetup is in 20 days. So that is something right there. That is wow. Time is flying. And can you believe, guys, like this is pretty much the last November, December. These are the last 2 months of this decade, right? Like, this is crazy. Like, we're literally going to be in 2020. Wow, it's crazy. So this is the last 2 months in the decade. Oh my God. But yes, so wow, 20 days, 2020. Anyways, but yeah, so the Konnekt meetup is in 20 days for those of you who are in the South Florida area. And I'm going to leave the details for that in there because I've been talking about this for like days now. Well, episodes now. So I'm going to leave the link in there for you all to sign up for as well. I think also what I'm going to add in there is because some people don't really use Facebook like that anyways, which I'm so very grateful for my international listeners. Like you guys, you literally have been helping me out to get out of my way of doing things, which is good because I'm so used to oh yeah, everybody pretty much has a Facebook. But now it's no, not a lot of people have this. So we have to think bigger for everybody who would be able to, maybe want to do it and they don't have a Facebook if they're close by. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of doing a Facebook link, I'm just going to have a link to the ticket for you all who are close and maybe don't have a Facebook and you listen to the podcast. So that could be beneficial to you. So yeah, I'm going to add that in there. You guys are awesome. Thank you for that. That was a new thought. Anyways, let us go into the fun fact. And the fun fact, I'll let you guys think on this one. The fun fact is a small child could swim through the veins of a blue whale. Now, if you consider how large a blue whale's heart is, it's the size of a small car. So it's no surprise that a small child around 3 to 4 years old could swim through the massive veins of a blue whale. And then I started thinking of my little niece, and she's only a little over 2 years old. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, my niece is swimming in the veins of a whale. I was just picturing that. One, I don't know what she'd do. Two, I would feel so sorry for that whale. But it's just interesting. I don't know. It just had me thinking. And it's funny with these fun facts when it regards animals. It just has me thinking of, the things you learn, man, the things you learn. But yes, that is the fun fact. Okay, so now let's actually get into the episode of this podcast. Let us talk about trust. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I did talk about trust before, but only kind of a mention, a little talk about it, and we're going to go from there. But as you know, this is the podcast for human connection. And one of the things that is required for us to connect with another person is that there has to be some form of trust. Now, let me start this off with a question for you. what are the requirements for someone to earn your trust, right? Let me say that again. What are the requirements for someone to earn your trust? Now, my answer is there's two things. The first one is I already give people trust until they give me a reason not to, right? That's just me. That's how it works. It's not saying like I'm going to trust you with, oh yeah, here's the keys to my house and my social security number and thing like, no, but there is a form of, there's like a high level of trust that I give a person until they give me a reason not to. The second thing, like the requirements for someone to earn my trust is like their energy. Energy never lies. So if you meet someone and you feel uneasy or you feel kind of weird or awkward and you just feel like I need to stay away from this person, listen to that. That is important. So for me, when I connect with people, I always go off the energy. And then, if the energy's cool, calm, or whatever it is, everybody's different. Some people not cool and calm. Some people they just full of energy and they just hilarious. It's just hilarious, right? But I go by the energy of the individual. And if I don't have that feeling like, nah, you need to stay away from this person, you need to not talk with them ever, then that's what I do. But yes, but also at the same time, people have, I give people a reason. So, I give people some trust until they give me a reason. So those are my things. So take a moment and really ask yourself, what are the requirements for you for someone to earn your trust? Because, you may have went through some things, which we're actually going to go in, but it's just a question for you. Now, the next thing is how to trust a person, right? For me, I've always said, give people like a little bit of trust to work with, right? I like to think of it as when I first meet a person, my mind immediately goes into like the typical setting of you're at a job or something, or you're doing a project. I give certain people like a little bit of trust to work with, as in, let me give them a task, or let me ask them if they know how to do something small. And I see how they are with it, how they respond. If they actually can do the task, different things like that. Or if it's a favor that I need and they're close by, something like that. That's what I think of. So when I meet new people for the first time, especially, after a while, like, number one, if the energy is right, let me say that, if the energy is right and it's cool and I decide to hang out with them, we go from there. And sometimes it's just a matter of talking with the person. You'll be very surprised that some people, this is for me because everybody is different, but this is just me giving you guys some things to think about. When I talk with some people, they actually share things with me that puts me in a trusting state. Like, some people will share things with me that is very, very, very personal. And it's just like, whoa, okay. And yes, granted, there are some people who just put their business out there. But no, this is like, it's like a different type of setting when people just trust you with stuff. So it's like, you've already given me some form, like there's some form of trust that you have for me. And I like to reciprocate it back. Again, so this person gave me some bit of trust, and it's like, okay, I can reciprocate that back. I have some trust for you. Now, all of us, again, we're very different. So this is really just for you to really evaluate, like, if you desire to trust someone, give them something like to work with. Give them a little bit of things to work with. Like I said, a task, maybe even a question, some type of test. But again, you don't have to trust this person like with your life, like right off the bat, but just do something small. So I'm hoping that makes sense for you guys. Something small, nothing crazy. Now, what do you do if someone has broken your trust and it has caused you not to trust others? Because that has come up multiple times with people that I have worked with, and people who were close to me and people who weren't. So I'm gonna give you two things that I have discovered. The first thing is, number one, if it's with one person that has hurt your trust, I need you to leave that with them. What I mean by that is, like, if that one person did something that really caused you not to be just trustworthy, like, leave that with them. Don't now assume everybody's going to be that way. So leave that whatever they did with that individual. So if it was a friend, if it was an ex, don't assume that all people like this, all males, all females, whatever, are like this. Leave that with that person. So what you want to do is you would like to heal yourself and forgive them. That's easier said than done, right? Because some trust, like some people can really just like shatter some stuff. Again, let me just say that is easier said than done. That's nothing that's like, oh yeah, just heal yourself, forgive them, drink some water and move on. No, this takes sometimes years, months maybe, but this could be a very, very long time to heal yourself from. But again, you'd like to leave that with them because you don't want to say everyone is untrustworthy because of an experience that you had with one person. Now, like I said, if this was an ex, and let's just say you put your all into it and, your heart, your everything, spirit, all of that, and they just completely shattered your trust, take time to heal from that and forgive them and forgive yourself. Now, when I say forgive them, that doesn't mean run back to them. No, that just means, okay, hey, they did this. When you forgive other people, you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it to get closure for yourself. So forgive them, forgive yourself. And sometimes you may say, well, what do I got to forgive myself for? I did, everything that I did and they hurt me. And it's funny that you asked that. It's funny that you asked that, right? I had a talk with a good friend and he was saying, why do I have to forgive myself? Because he was saying, maybe this is my ego, but why do I have to forgive myself? They did what they did. And I said, well, this is why. And I broke it down. I said, I was like, for you to forgive yourself, when they did it, you responded in a certain way, right? And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay, let's fast forward to where you are now. You know much better. You've learned other things. You've helped other people. You've seen more things. So you are better able to help other people in a situation, right? Right. I was like, okay, when you're forgiving yourself, you're essentially saying, you know what? I forgive myself for how I may have responded because that's all I knew. And that's what I thought was best at the time. Be it if you got angry, be it if you got really pissed, be it if you did something pretty messed up, or you just maybe hurt yourself, something like that. You handled it the best way you could, or you just handled it in the way you knew how to at the moment. So when I say forgive yourself, you're forgiving yourself for how it is that you may have responded or reacted. Because now you know better. You're able to look back on it and see the things that you may have learned from that relationship. So that's essentially what that means, is just forgiving yourself for how you may have responded and reacted to it, because now you know better. Now you see the lessons that you gained from that, right? And even if you're not there yet, just know later on down the line when you do figure it out and you'd be able to forgive yourself. And again, guys, this isn't to say that you're wrong. This isn't to say that you shouldn't have handled it that way. Again, you handle it the way that you knew how at that time. This is just for now that you are a little bit older, you're a little bit wiser. You can say, you know what? I handle that. I know for me, someone did that. So I'm just going to give you a live scenario just to kind of give you guys an example of like where I'm coming from with this. So you don't think, oh, I'm just saying this. There was someone that I trusted and it went very south. It just went very, very bad. Now, because of that, I got pissed off like in a certain way, and I didn't do nothing crazy, but it really just pissed me off. And I was beating myself up a little bit internally because it's just like, why would you even do that? I was like, stupid. Like, I was just all types of different things, like kind of replaying it in my mind. And after a while, because of the situation and the people involved, we learned a lot of things about ourselves. And one of the lessons that I learned was like, I need to not just be inviting people to get to know those people who are close to me. Like, you got to kind of earn that. You got to earn that to be around the people that is like my close circle, right? So I learned a very valuable lesson. Just because this person may seem cool in the beginning and they're just like someone that's in my inner circle doesn't mean that I need to invite them right away. So there was things that I learned immediately with that. And though I was angry, I really looked back, and because of the lessons that it taught me, I was able to forgive myself. Like, dude, you know what? Hey, that was your first time that happened. You haven't experienced something like that. So, hey, you were pissed, but that's all you knew how to, that you never done this before. So forgive yourself from it. That took some time, some self-talk, but eventually it was like, yeah, I'm right. This is me to me. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. Because I really didn't know like how to handle that, but I did it the best way I knew how. And I felt better. And so now, like, I don't even really think of the individual, except for this example, I had to. But it's just really for yourself, guys. Now, that's just one scenario, right? So, like I said, the question was, what do you do if someone has broken your trust and it caused you not to trust others? Now, that's the first point, if it's with one person. Now, this is the second point that's probably going to hurt a lot of y'all feelings, but hey, it's okay. We're at the podcast where you learn about yourself. This point is this. If it's with more than one person that has like did some untrustworthy stuff with you, if this is more than one person, then you need to take a look at yourself, because there's something going on with you that you're constantly experiencing this. And most people don't want to hear that. But if it's, again, I can understand if it's one person, you can learn. But if it's a lot of people, then you need to take a look at what you're doing, what's going on with you, right? Because there's something going on. It can't be everybody. It has to be something with you. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. And a lot of people say, well, I did this and this person did this, and vice versa. It's the same story, but in a different way. And maybe, guys, I'm going to give you some examples with this. But like first example is maybe there's some unresolved things that you have going on with yourself. Like the first person who may have caused you not to be, trustworthy with other people. And what happens when we don't learn the lesson and or heal from it is that we start to take that with us in other relationships, which is why I said in the first point is you need to leave that with that person who hurt you the first time, right? Heal yourself and forgive them. But when you don't do that, then that's when you start to bring that to other people, right? And when you do that, you start to look for things to not trust the individual. You start to create things and reasons for people, like for them not, for them to do things that cause you to be untrustworthy. Like you'll do things and it's just like, oh, I knew you do it. I knew you do it. It's just a matter of time. And it's like you were creating that. That's what you were looking for instead of the other things. And when you do that, people can feel your energy. Like if they can feel that you're very, you're just not, you don't like to trust people, and they have to really like fight hard just for a little bit of trust. And when they don't do something, like one thing, like, oh, they didn't text me when they got home, must be out here cheating. It's just like, no. So now you're causing unnecessary arguments and a person doesn't even want to deal with you, right? So when you don't take the time to heal yourself from it, you start to bring that on with other people, right? Now, sometimes it may not even be that, guys. Sometimes it may be inner things going on with you that you may not even trust yourself, right? So it may not even be a person, but it may be something that you've done or has an experience that you've had that happened, personally with you, and it's causing you really not to like trust yourself. And so if you can't really trust yourself, how can you trust another person? So there could be things that may have been going on in that scenario. So a simple example would be, I'm going to think of something really small, like if I'm trying to think of something simple with that, because I'm trying to think of something that I've had go on with that where I didn't trust myself with, and it was just something. Okay, I can give a scenario. When it comes to something that's brand new to me and it seems like it could be a bit dangerous and I don't trust myself with it, I'm not as up to 10 ain't for to trust someone else with it. They could tell me they're pro or they've been doing it for a long time. I'm like, okay, that's cute, but I'm gonna let you stay over there with that. Don't come with me with that, right? Now, a simple example would be if someone was to tell me, hey, if you were use this laser to carve something. I had a friend who was telling me carving stuff, and that he was breaking it down for me. Like, all that you're saying, I don't even trust myself with that. So no, it's okay. So he's like, dude, I'll show you. I'm like, no, it's okay. It's dangerous. It could kill. That's all I got from it. I'm okay. You don't need to be around me. It's okay. Cool. No, dude. No. no, no. He would pick up the laser. I'm like, no, 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 no. It's okay. We're fine. And he's like, you don't trust me? I don't trust myself. And what you're telling me, I'm okay. Let us not even deal with the laser, right? Now that's a very, very small, minor example, but take that on a bigger scale. There are some major things like that is going on with you. You can't really trust another person if you don't trust yourself. And then, not only that, but when you don't heal yourself from these things, like another person could have done to you, and you don't really take the necessary time to heal yourself, you won't be able to get the lessons that's needed. And when you don't get those lessons, things tend to repeat themselves for you to get. Let me give you an alternate scenario of what could have happened if I didn't take the time to really reflect. Now, like I said, I have my inner circle. If I didn't get the lesson with that experience of, hey, dude, you can't just be inviting everybody to know your inner circle. If I didn't get that lesson, there would have been many times I would have thought, oh, wow, this person is really cool. They should meet, this friend or that friend, that's really close. And that would have caused possibly other issues. And I could have really messed up my inner circle because I'm just letting anybody and everybody come in and get to know what we do, how we talk, and different things like that. That could have severely messed up years of trust. And that could have been just messed up in just a few short months because I didn't get the lesson of, hey, maybe the person needs to earn a certain level of trust and whatever it is before they can meet these people, that is in your inner circle, because you're inviting this person into your world, your council, your close people, and you don't want just anybody to come in there and start stuff, right? And if I didn't learn that lesson, I could have ruined friendships off of that. I could have friendships that we built could have just been messed up. So sometimes, guys, things repeat themselves in other people when you don't take the time to heal yourself. Again, you'll be creating it. And then just the last thing, guys, with this whole trust, and I really hope that you guys got that. The next and the last thing is when it just, like I started off, to connect with people, there has to be some level of trust. But if there is not, then you're literally creating a recipe for disaster and disharmony. So trust provides stability, and no trust invites instability. Now, you may say, well, okay, that was cute, but what does that mean? Now, when you're meeting a person, or you're establishing some type of business deal or connecting with some type of people, there's a form of stability going on. Like, okay, you know what? I don't have to be on guard too much. I don't have to, be on the edge. This person seems cool. I can take the time to get to know him, whatnot. You're stable. Like, okay, let me get to know him. And if he passes whatever your tests are, then okay, cool. I can hang out with him some more. If not, then I don't have to talk with this person no more. But now let's just flip that and just say there is no trust, right? If you don't have any trust for a lot of people, sometimes our emotions really take over. And it's just like, I don't trust this person. So you start to look for things. You start to feel a bit on edge. You start to feel uncomfortable. Any little thing that they possibly say that could have been wrong kind of sets you off or throws you off. And you're just like, nah, I don't like him. The way he looked and the way he sneezed, nah, he pissed me off. It was just something about his spirit. It just irked my soul, right? So when you literally don't trust and you have no trust, it invites instability, right? A lot of things with our emotions, a lot of us being on edge. And so when you have that, no trust, that instability, it just can just turn into just horrible things, right? And I've been in the scenario where I was on the party that had the trust, and I was dealing with parties that did not have the trust. And you can see them being very unstable, and it was just interesting. They were just uncomfortable. They were they had a bunch of questions. You can just tell, the minute you said one thing wrong, their mind is closed off. You know what I mean? So I've had to encounter that with different types of people. But to be honest with you, I don't know, because I love connecting with people. It's kind of fun for me a little bit. It's just let me set this person at ease. Nothing lying or anything, but it's just I will tell them, I can sense you have a lot of questions and things like that. Let's talk about that because this is something new for you. You don't know what's going on. You may have had some experiences. Let's talk about that before we go any further. Set you at ease and just put it out there, But again, trust provides the stability. When you don't have the trust, it invites instability. So, guys, that is it for this podcast segment on trust. And there's actually no questions this time. I put the link on there, and there was no questions this time. So, okay, guys, okay. And then we just move on to the next segment, which is the last one, is the health is wealth segment. And this particular topic is having some me time. Now, I've talked about a little bit about this too, like in the past, and maybe a few episodes back, but I'm bringing this back up again because when you need to get something, like when you hear it the first time, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I should try that. And you don't really try that, right? And you're like, oh, that's nice. But when you hear it again, it kind of, you start to hear some more things. You start to hear it a little bit differently. It starts to click a little bit more. Repetition, right? So we're going to talk about the benefits of me time. And I'm just going to read a little bit of what I wanted to get more opinions out of this than my own, but I'm going to share mine as well. But just giving you some more stuff is some of the benefits of me time is taking a little time for yourself refreshes and it re-energizes you. It allows you to think more clearly and make better decisions. So taking me time also builds your self-esteem over time as you come to realize that you are important and deserve to have a little time for yourself. If you engage in something you enjoy during your time out, you also have the satisfaction of reading that book, finishing that project, or writing that poem. But be careful that you don't use your me time for leisurely activities. Be careful that you use your me time. Sorry, I had to read that. I'm like, wait, something didn't feel right. But be careful that you use your me time for leisurely activities and don't push yourself to complete anything. Simply enjoy the time out. I had to correct myself. Other benefits include the ability to sleep better, less fatigue, helps with depression and anxiety, greater resistance to sickness, and less tension. Indirectly, taking time for yourself may also improve your interpersonal and business relationships, making you a better partner, parent, or employee. But I'm going to go back to the part that I got messed up on, which is really good. But they say taking that me time, it's good for you to use it for your leisurely activities and don't push yourself to complete anything. Because I feel like when we do take that time for ourselves, we use that time to, okay, you know what? Let me actually go do this thing that I've been putting off, as in like some type of work task or something. It's not really something for yourself. You don't really take that time to enjoy yourself. Like, you know what? Let me, instead of, I took the day off, so I'm gonna use this time to catch up on laundry. I'm use this time to go catch up on schoolwork and different things like that. But you don't really take the time to say, you know what? Hey, I've been going really through some rough stuff and I've been putting it to the side. Let me really take the time to heal myself. Let me really take the time to get my mental right. Let me take the time to see how I'm feeling this week. Do I feel happy? Where am I at? Am I doing things that make me feel happy? So instead of replacing them with tasks that you feel like has been building up, take some time to really have some me time. Play that video game. Draw something. And it doesn't have to be, guys, it doesn't have to be, 3 whole days to do this. This could be, 2 hours for yourself. And sometimes some people may say, I don't have 2 hours. You may be very surprised that you do have 2 hours if you break it up. But, that's just time management there. Just saying 2 hours, if you break that up, that's what, four sets of 30 minutes. So you can do 30 minutes here, 30 minutes somewhere else, different things like that. If you don't got 30 minutes, you can break that up in 15-minute segments, over here. But yeah, guys, so taking that time. My own thing with it is with that taking the me time is just what I said, is just really taking the time for yourself to get what you need. Sometimes your me time may be for you to just be alone and just lay down. There have been days, guys, I'm telling you, where I knew like my body was just like, don't go nowhere, don't do nothing, just literally stay in the bed. And some people may be saying, well, how didn't you just stay in the bed? That's lazy. Like, no, I'm telling you, when you do that and you're listening to your body, you're healing, man. You're recovering. There has been many times, guys, where I have just been laying just in the bed and I had a bunch of ideas, a bunch of like solutions to problems that I was thinking about, or I wouldn't say problems, challenges that I was having, or solutions, or maybe some creative ideas. And I would just sit there on my phone and I'm just writing it all down, because it's just like, I know I'm not going to act on this right now because I'm resting. But you'll be just very surprised when you just stay in one spot. Things will start to come to you, ideas will start to flow, creativity, just a lot of different things. So it's not really that you're being unproductive. You're just giving yourself time to rest and recuperate and really build more of a relationship with you instead of a relationship with your job, your business, your sometimes, it could be your spouse. Sometimes you just need that alone time, that me time away from everything. So guys, that is some of the benefits with that. Just saying. And with that being said, my amazing people, that is really it for this podcast episode. I really felt like we needed to go more on into the trust. I do feel like maybe next episode or so, depending on how things feel in the stars and in the energy around, we'll see. I may do another thing about communication. I think I started off the podcast with communication and I've gotten back in and in and out of it, but I feel like we can never stop learning about communication. So I feel like we're gonna get into communication maybe on some deeper things, because it's great to have talks on, this is how you actually talk to a person. But I don't think a lot of people know how to have communication when it comes to very, very deep subjects that require you to be able to speak from your emotions, but not in a way that causes issues, right? So this could be some deep and personal stuff, things that you may just be facing or stuff like that, or you communicating with someone else who has, different emotional experiences with a certain scenario, and just being able to talk through all of that, right? So communicate through all of that. So I may do a next episode on that. We'll see. But yeah, with that being said, guys, that is it for this podcast. You all are amazing, and I look forward to speaking with you all Tuesday. And happy November to you all. I desire for this November to be really great for you all, getting some contact with some family, and, just connect. Or just really just enjoy this month for whatever it is. Some people may have some projects. Some people have some other interesting things that may have not been talked about. So, yeah. And with that being said, that is it. Oh, sorry. One last thing. I'm just lying to y'all. I'm so sorry. I would really love, now that the podcast has been expanding, I would really love for some of you all who listen to the podcast and you're not in America, and you can speak English and I can understand you, I would love for you all to just to connect with you all as guest speakers on the podcast, and really talk about your culture, what it's like in the place that you live, to really get more insight. Because the news, I don't watch the news, and me personally, I'm the type of person, I'd rather learn from a place from people who actually live there versus someone else who doesn't, and they've only been there for a week, and they're telling me everything, which is, that's nice and all, but I would love to speak with you all who are native to where it is that you live, and actually be able to connect with you and ask you, what it's like in your culture. So if you all are interested and you feel comfortable enough to be a guest speaker on the podcast, I would love for you all to either shoot me an email and or message me on here, leave a comment, or whatever it is, and just let me know, hey, I would like to be a guest speaker and talk, and we can, see some subjects that we can talk about. We'll give the details. But again, I would love to speak with you all, especially you all in Australia, Africa, Germany, Russia, South America. So all of these different things. So the invitation is out there, guys. So that being said, that's it for real. And I will talk with you all soon. Later. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Please leave a 5-star rating and share with a friend near you. Remember, the world's a better place because you exist. Know your worth and know thyself.